How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Beam Review. Today we're going to be going over 10 plus features that are most confusing. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel at Beam Review, we go over everything there is to know about your BMW. We go over plenty of tips, tricks, and features reviews. So if that's something that you want to learn about, subscribe to this channel because we put out content every single week. Before we get started, we did want to mention our BMW courses that sell like crazy. Again, these courses are going to be very, very beneficial to you if you are new to BMWs, and if you simply just want to save time and know everything there is to know about your BMW. I would highly recommend it because, again, not only will it save you tons of time, you will be using your BMW to its full potential, and you're going to learn things that you probably never knew about as well. At the making of this video, we do have courses for the BMW X3 and the BMW X5. Courses do go very, very in-depth and show you everything there is to know. And the links for these are going to be right down below, so check that out at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So for this video, we all know that BMWs have tons and tons of features, and many of these consumers do tend to get confused, or they're not using the features to their full potential, or they even assume something that the feature can do, but in reality, it actually doesn't, and vice versa. So for this video, we're going to be going over the top 10, and we're going to be giving you full clarification on all of them as well. So if you are in the process of getting your next BMW, this one is going to be a great video to stay in tune with, because you're going to learn everything there is to know about BMW's most confusing features. All right, so first off and foremost, if you are not already familiar with BMW's Driver's Assistant Professional, it is probably one of the best packages that BMW makes. If you have the option of your BMW having this, I would highly recommend it, especially if you do a lot of highway driving. Now, the reason why this package can get very, very confusing is, say, for example, one of them, a lot of people think that this package does come standard because a lot of the other lower end vehicles these days, they're all starting to come with lane assist and adaptive cruise control. But for BMWs, you do have to get the package of Driver's Assistant Professional. Now the way that you use this is that this button right here is going to be your on and off switch. Now, Driver's Assistant Professional does have 3 different modes. Whenever you are using the feature, you are only going to see 2 modes. The reason being is because that third mode will only pop up whenever you're in a traffic jam situation. There's some criteria that has to be met. You have to be going on the highway. You have to be going below 40 miles per hour. Of course, you do have to be in that stop and go traffic jam situation. Once you meet those criteria, that is whenever this third mode, called Assist Plus, is going to be available to you. And then you will simply just have to click mode one more time, and then before you know it, your car is driving all by itself. Now, the biggest differences between the 3 modes is that mode number 1 will simply be your adaptive cruise control. Mode number 2 will be adaptive cruise control plus lane assist, but in mode number 2, you do have to touch the wheel every 15 seconds. In mode number 3, Assist Plus, or aka that traffic jam mode, in that mode, you could completely let go of the wheel hands-free. And again, as long as you're going below 40 miles per hour for the older vehicles, you don't have to touch the wheel at all. So definitely keep that in mind, that this is a package that gets very, very confused. But I will say it is probably my favorite package that BMW makes, and I would highly recommend getting it. For feature number 2, it is going to be your parking assistance plus button, which is going to be this guy right over here. Once you happen to press that, you're going to see a screen that looks just like this. Again, in order to have BMW's 3D view, you do have to have the parking assistance plus package. Now, many other bells and whistles that come with this package is going to be the ability for the vehicle to park itself. You can see by that little check mark way up there, the vehicle can park itself. It also has backup assistant, which if you need more details about, write it down in the comments below. But one of the biggest things to mention is that once you see this camera system right here, if the vehicle was on, you're going to see 2 other camera systems that pop up right here. You always want to make sure that this camera system with the A on it is going to be your primary camera that is selected. Because once you do that, then whenever you're in a parking situation, the vehicle will show you the best camera angle possible. And then you yourself do not have to play around with the system to pick out your own camera view. Also, if you don't already know, there is a hidden tab that is located right over here. Inside this, you do have a full 3D view, and then you can press these little dots or lines right here to kind of cycle around the whole system as well. Now, granted, you're probably going to be wondering why we need to press these little dots. Well, you don't have to. Again, as mentioned before, as long as your camera system is set to the automatic mode right up there, you don't have to do anything at all. And as you can see, the other camera systems just happen to pop up right here as well. If I were to click on this one, it shows you a back left angle. If I were to click on the right one, of course, we're going to see our back right angle. But just simply leave it on auto. The vehicle will just do it all by itself. and you can just sit back and relax. Again, many newer BMW owners, they tend to think that this camera system and even the driver assistance professional comes standard with the vehicle. It is worth noting that these two things are separate packages. You do have to get it as an option. So definitely make sure you do your research ahead of time and make sure you're getting exactly what you wanted. The next one is going to be the wireless charger, which is right down here. Not all BMWs come with a wireless charger. The best way to tell if your vehicle came with it or is going to be coming with it is to refer to your window sticker to see if you have it or not. But a couple ways that you can tell if the BMW does have a wireless charger or not is that you're going to see a little fuel cell that is located right over here. And you're going to see this little cutout right here where the blue light will emit, letting you know that the BMW does come with wireless charging. If you have one of the newer BMWs, you're not going to see this little fuel cell here, nor this little cutout. The best way to tell for newer vehicles is, again, to refer to the window sticker to see if it has wireless charging. Also, just to mention it, because we are transitioning into the next generation of BMWs, if you're curious to see if your BMW iX or any other newer vehicle 2023 and plus has driver assistant professional, again, their BMW is going to be starting to use the same cutout for vehicles that have the package and the ones that do not. So it is going to be very, very confusing to know if your newer BMW is going to have this package or not. Best way to tell, refer to the window sticker again, because it is going to be hard to tell. Next up is going to be the Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, if you do get the Wi-Fi hotspot package, just keep in mind that you're only purchasing the hardware that is needed for the Wi-Fi package. If you do get the Wi-Fi package, just keep note that you're just buying the hardware that can support the Wi-Fi hotspot within the vehicle. You do still have to register with T-Mobile to get the full subscription, but newer BMWs, they do come with a 3-month trial with the Wi-Fi hotspot. So definitely keep that in mind. If you want to set that up, you simply just go into COM right over here, and then you'd go into mobile devices. Once you're in there, you're gonna click on settings, and then you're gonna see Wi-Fi hotspot right over here, along with the Wi-Fi password as well. But again, the biggest confusion that gets done with the Wi-Fi hotspot is that many people think that it is going to be a permanent thing that comes with the BMW, but it actually does not. It comes with the hardware in order to support the Wi-Fi hotspot along with the 3-month trial. But once you get past that 3-month trial, you do have to register with T-Mobile or any other supporting cellular service in order to continue to have the Wi-Fi hotspot. My personal opinion, if you are debating on getting the Wi-Fi hotspot or not, the only reason why I would get it if I had kids that needed to connect their iPads to it, because a lot of our iPhones and Androids these days, they do come with the option to have a personal hotspot built into the phone or offered, and I find that to be a lot more convenient because it is going to be something that's more versatile. So definitely keep that in mind about the Wi-Fi hotspot. It is something that gets very, very confused, but now you know. Next up is going to be our digital key card, the one that we see right here. Now, this digital key card, if you don't already know how to use it, you simply tap and hold on the door handle in order to lock and unlock the vehicle, and then you would take it and then place it on this pad right over here, and then you can go ahead and start your vehicle too. Keep in mind, even if your BMW doesn't have the wireless charging, this key card can still work because it is NFC based, and all BMWs, they do have the NFC detector built into the pads there, as long as your vehicle does come with the key card. The biggest confusion about this guy is that yes, you do have to tap on the door handles and place it right there to have that physical touch in order to operate the vehicle. But the biggest catch with this guy is that it is going to be a 1-year trial. Yes, I did say that. So once you have the card activated, it begins this 1-year trial, and then after that, you have to resubscribe to the feature in order to continue to use this card. You definitely want to make sure this card is at home or in your wallet. Don't leave it in your car, or else somebody can steal your car, and that is something that you don't want, I'm pretty sure. Again, many newer BMWs, they are starting to come with the feature that you can now use your phone to do the same thing as what this guy can do, and I would highly recommend doing that instead of using this guy. Next up is going to be our drive recorder, this guy right here. I probably should just do a separate video on this, but this is a feature that gets confused a whole lot. Now, the drive recorder, if you go into your apps, you're also going to see drive recorder pop up here if the vehicle was fully set up. What you would do is simply go into that drive recorder app. A really cool feature that it has that many do not know about is that it can work as a dash cam as well. Because once you have that set up, if the car detects that you got into a car accident, it can remember to record 20 seconds prior to the accident and 20 seconds right after it as well. Not only that, if you are somebody who tracks your vehicle, drive recorder is very convenient for that because you can use it to record your lap time or how you did around the track. For the vast majority of consumers, you're not going to be using it that way, but again, as mentioned before, you should definitely set up your drive recorder so it will record all by itself, because you'll have video evidence if you do, God forbid, get into a car accident. Another way to use it is if you were to click on the drive recorder button, which is right here, then you're going to see a wide angle view that shows the back. If you go into drive, it'll show a wide angle view that shows the front as well. Now, one of the most convenient ways that you can use the drive recorder is by setting it up as an activation point. You can see it blurred out right over here, but What this can do is you can mark any point anywhere as an activation point, and once you set it as an activation point, then you're going to see this wide angle view pop up all by itself as soon as you get to that activation point. This is going to be super convenient if you park in the same parking lot at your work, or if you go into the same parking garage every single day. If you set that parking lot as an activation point, this screen will pop up all by itself. Then you're going to have a nice view of where you're trying to park, and then you'll get into the perfect parking spot every single time. Definitely make sure you're using that drive recorder. Set up your activation points for your driveway or for wherever you work and park. Very convenient to have an additional view that shows a lot more going on. Next up is going to be the laser lights. Now the laser lights look really cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably one of the most aesthetic, cool looking features that BMW has for their headlights, if not the one. But it does come with a few little things that you probably didn't know about. Now here in the US, which is going to be the majority of you viewers, we don't have the full power of the laser lights unless we turn on the high beams. In European countries, it is going to be a different story. Their laws in terms of headlights are much more lenient compared to here in the US. But the laser lights do a really good job of showing you the road. They can project all the way down up to a half a mile, which is ridiculous. But again, here in the US, you do have to make sure that your high beams are on in order to get that full reach of light that you're going to see down the road. Keep that in mind. It is not going to be something that you're going to see too much difference of if you were just operating in normal headlight conditions if you're here in the US, but you'd have to use that high beam in order to get that full reach of the laser light. But again, at the end of the day, these do look really cool and totally worth getting if you live in an area that has little to no light. So keep that in mind. Next up is going to be about the M Sport package. Now, many BMWs have the option to get the M Sport package. Many think that it is all aesthetics. Now, many think whenever you get the M Sport package that it is only going to be aesthetic changes, such as a blacked out grille, such as more sporty bumpers, side skirts, wheels, and rear bumpers. But did you know that if you do decide to get the M Sport package, your suspension is going to be 25% more stiff? And that is going to be the only performance change that happens whenever you get the M Sport package. The ride is going to be slightly more stiff, but at the same time, your handling with it is going to be very nice. So definitely, just to repeat myself again, not only do you get all the aesthetic changes, but your suspension is going to be a bit more stiff. So if you are somebody who does not want that, keep that in mind. And that brings us to our next point about M Sport Professional. When you are customizing your BMW or even your next one, you have two different types of the M Sport packages. You have this one here, which is going to be your regular M Sport, which all BMWs have, and then you're going to have this other one that is newer called M Sport Professional. Now you can see here that if you simply just get the M Sport package, you're going to have all the major updates. But if you wanted things such as a blacked out grille, smoked out headlights or taillights, and many other things such as colored calipers, you have to get this M Sport Professional package, which does add on to the price tag. But in my opinion, if you are going to go M Sport, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to get the M Sport Professional, because it does add a bit more aggressiveness, aesthetics to the vehicle. And I personally think that it makes the BMWs look much more aggressive and much more sporty and better to look at. Next up is going to be the ride height. Now, we are sitting in a BMW M vehicle, so it's not going to have the ability to adjust the ride height. But if your BMW SUV does have it, you're going to see a little switch that shows right over here. Now, the biggest thing that gets confusing about this ride height feature is that yes, there are 5 different levels to it. You can go up to the highest one, you can go down to the lowest one, but definitely keep in mind that ride height is only going to be available to you whenever you're going about 15 to 20 miles per hour or below it. If you do go past that, the vehicle will revert to its normal height. You don't have to do anything for it, but many do think that ride height is going to be something that stays once you get past that 15 to 20 mile per hour mark. Again, it will revert to its middle height. If you do have a sportier vehicle, you can go into sport, and then that height will drop 1 notch down, and it can stay there. But aside from that, the vehicle will revert to its normal height if you are in any normal BMW that has this feature. Next up, we have summer tires versus all season tires. I mentioned this in all my videos because it is something that can become probably one of the most costly mistakes of all time. So if your BMW is going to be a M Sport vehicle, if you do get the M Sport package and upgrade the rims, more likely than not, your BMW is going to have summer tires, which means that you cannot drive this in the winter time unless you get a winter setup. Keep that in mind because it is a $4,000 mistake that many do make. Quite too common that this happens, hence why I mention it every single time. Also, if you do get the bigger rims, not only do you have summer tires, but you may definitely want to opt in for the wheel and tire package, because the higher you go on your rim size, the more likely than not you're going to have bent rims, and that is also more prone to having the tires damaged as well. So if you do upgrade your rims, or if you do get an M vehicle, definitely check to make sure you know what kind of tires you're getting, whether it's all season tires or summer tires, because again, you can't drive the summer tires during the winter or anything below freezing, because it will be similar to driving on hockey pucks, and that is not safe for you at all. So definitely keep that in mind. Next up is going to be the aluminum running boards that come with BMWs as an option. Many think that these are running boards that are similar, that comes with a truck where you can actually step on it. But that is not the case with BMWs. The running boards that come with these vehicles are definitely just more for aesthetics. You cannot step on these at all. You will slip off. There is not enough space for your foot to be there. So definitely keep this in mind. Many people that do purchase this package think that you can step on these, but you can't. Again, these are more for just aesthetics. They are not really practical to use at all. So definitely watch out for that. Next up is going to be more just pertaining to the BMW X7 and how you have the selection on the middle seats. Now, if you get the BMW X7, you have the option to get either captain's chairs or just the normal setup. Keep in mind that if you get the captain's chairs, these chairs cannot fold down all the way flat as if you were to get the bench. If you get the bench set up with the X7, which is going to be your normal one, that one can fold down all the way flat. But again, if you get the captain's chairs, they will only push up a little bit, so you will have less space in the back if you want to have the seats all fold down. Not only that, you do lose that middle seat as well. So if you are somebody who has multiple people sitting in the vehicle, it is considered a 7-seater vehicle. But if you do get the captain's chairs, you're going to be limited to one less person because you do lose that middle row where somebody else could sit as well. Last but not least is going to be the trailer hitch. Now, watch out for this one. BMW's trailer hitch, you do have to get this from the factory. It is not something that can get added on. If you do go to a aftermarket place to get it added on, it's going to cause a lot of problems because there are sensors all beneath the vehicle and even in the backside as well. It is highly recommended that if you do want a trailer hitch with your BMW, that you order one from factory. Another thing that many do not realize is BMW has this feature where if you kick beneath the trunk, you can open up the trunk all hands-free. Well, if you get the trailer hitch, or if your BMW does have the trailer hitch, that you do lose this feature because there are sensors beneath the trunk that are used in order to detect your foot from going forward and back in order for the trunk to unlock itself. But if you get the trailer hitch, you're not going to have that feature. So definitely keep that in mind. If you are somebody who is or are going to be doing plenty of towing, you are going to lose that one feature. But another thing that you do gain from having that feature is if you do have the Parking Assistance Plus package, that if you were to click on this little side menu here, you can see that there are 3 options. If you get the trailer hitch built in with your vehicle, you're going to have a 4th one here called trailer hitch, which you can use to align yourself to the trailer in the back. That will make life much more easy. So keep that in your notes. You do get a bonus feature whenever you do have the Parking Assistance Professional package and the trailer hitch. Keep all these features in mind. Again, these are probably the most confusing features that BMW has. They get misinterpreted, people get confused about, and many of these features are assumed, but you have to purchase them separately. Hence why we have this video, to help reduce all those mistakes. If there was anything that I missed, if you all think that there was another feature that is very confusing as well, that you wanted more clarification on, write it down below in the comment box below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And before you leave, make sure you check out the BMW course that we have right down below. They are selling like crazy. And if you wanted to know everything there is to know about your BMW, take this course. It'll save you tons of time and you would be using your BMW to its full potential.